Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I want to talk about William Friedkin's absolutely perfect, I believe 1971 film, and that is, in a lot of ways, obviously enough, The French Connection. Now, this movie has already been long since considered one of the best films ever made. It's up there with, you know, like Citizen Kane and The Great Escape, and rightfully so. I can't find enough good things to say about this movie. This has to be, hands down, one of, if not the best cat and mouse movie ever made. I mean, the chase scenes between Charnier and Doyle when he follows him out of the hotel where everyone else wasn't watching, and then they do this sort of up and down the subway and the streets thing, and Charnier keeps losing him, and then Doyle finds him on the subway, and then they do this sort of in and out thing through the doors as Charnier beats him, and he bests Popeye Doyle, and he does the, you know? And that's kind of the whole movie. Like, I mean, this, of course, has one of the best car chases ever filmed, and that is, again, right up there with, like, I'm talking anything that Bullet or Vanishing Point, or crazier, the craziest elements of sort of the original Gone in 60 Seconds. I really like the remake with Angelina Jolie. I really like the remake, but I know a lot of people don't, so I won't talk about that. But we have company. But yeah, so I kind of feel like there's so much going on here that I can understand why this movie continues to hold everybody's attention after all these decades. And I think in a lot of ways it can just be boiled down to the fact that this is a really compelling story that is sold to us by incredibly tight cinematography, direction, writing, and acting. I mean, William Friedkin didn't tell the camera people that, there's a dog. God, I hope there's not a fucking party going on right here. No, I don't think so. We're good. But yeah, I mean, the camera work seems so frenetic and it has sort of a documentary vibe, and that's because Friedkin didn't tell the camera operators, like, what was going to happen. So he didn't say that, you know, character A is coming through this door, so have that lined up, and character B is going to chase them from this aspect or this angle or whatever, so remember to be set up for that. He didn't do any of that. That was weird. These guys just pulled up in a truck. I think one of them got out, did something in the dark, and then they left, and I can't tell if he's still there. I don't really give a fuck. I don't care either, but it's just strange. I mean, there should be nobody back here. There's no reason in the world for anybody to be back here unless they're talking about movies for YouTube. But yeah, he never told any of the camera operators what was going to happen as far as like the blocking and the staging and whatnot. So they were just caught off guard. Like, you know, Hackman would burst in this way and they would just have to kind of go with it. So that's why this movie sort of is so frenzied. Like, it has that honest documentary vibe because the camera operators don't know what's going to happen next. And that is just so energizing. Like, as somebody sitting in the theater watching that, you can't help but get excited. You can't help but feel that sort of charge in that. Okay, now I'm fucking hearing things. I'm hearing things, so I have to go and investigate. I'll be back. All right, so there's absolutely nobody there. But what else did I want to say about this movie? I made notes because I'm professional. Checking my notes while I'm doing the video is the least professional thing I could do. So I'm not a professional. Oh, yes, that's right. The other thing I loved about this movie was just sort of that overall gritty sense of realism. Like the car crash that Popeye is when Popeye shows up to talk to the lieutenant about how he just needs a few more days to get Charnier and he knows something's going on, and the lieutenant's like, no man, whatever deal's gone down, it's happened, you blew it, it's over, you're off special assignment, like you're done. This is it. And the car accident that everybody is at is really bloody and it's really violent. And there's this sort of, again, it's the honesty. It's the It's the grime and it's the grit. And it's like everywhere you look in this movie, there's something going wrong because, you know, the world that these people see and the world that these people live in is constantly ugly. And I thought that car accident summed that up so perfectly well. I also loved how the actual two dudes, like the two detectives who Roy Scheider and Gene Hackman are portraying, they both show up in the movie. Now, the real Popeye Doyle, he's in the movie and he plays the lieutenant that Scheider and Hackman are always kind of like haggling with. Like, no, come on, man, give us a couple more days, give us this, give us that. That's the real Popeye Doyle. And his partner, who's played by Roy Scheider, he's in this as well. And I thought that was cool that they included the real detectives that did the real legwork here. And the heroin they used in the movie was also real. Somehow Friedkin and company got the police to sign off and let them use all the heroin that they needed, and there's like pounds of heroin. So the drugs that you see in the movie are very real. The drug testing scene, when the dude is like, good housekeeping, seal of approval and all that, and it's shooting up, that's real heroin. So I thought that was awesome too. And again, it just goes to the overall sense of realism that this movie is nailing so perfectly. But my favorite thing about this movie has to be how the bad guys kind of win. Charnier gets away. He's gone. And the real guy that he was based on, if I'm not mistaken, he just died in the past couple of years, sometime around 2021, 2022. So that was cool too, because you never see a movie where the bad guys get away. I know for the most part they didn't. The majority of them did go down in this, but the main bad guy, he got away. And that's kind of refreshing. Kind of has an Arlington Road thing going on. Okay, I'm going to go because the noises keep continuing and continuing. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for, wow, almost a little over 7 minutes while I discuss the absolutely perfect, I believe, 1971 film, The French Connection. Like always, if you like this review or if you love this movie, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. But please, most importantly, don't forget that the world is a better place because you are in it. I'm going to go. Have a good night.